So who cannot fast? A person who is not sane. So if someone who has mental disability or something like that, he does not have to fast at all. A person who did not reach the puberty. So if someone who is under 12 years old, under 10 years old, they didn't reach the puberty, they don't have to fast. But it's good, you know, some people, like I've seen some mothers that they let them fast like half day.
Yeah.
Just to encourage them, you know. A sick person. Of course, a sick person, temporary or permanent, you know. So temporary, like if someone has cold or anything like that. Permanent, if someone has diabetes, and the diabetes can, you know, is very
They
bad
have
for.
to,
Of course,
yeah.
like there are different types of diabetes. I'm talking about the diabetes that, you know. A traveler more than 49.7 miles. So yes, a woman on their menstruation, they don't have to, you know, but they also make it up later. Also, the traveler has to make it up. A person who has permanent illness, as I said. Elderly due to illness. So if someone who is over 60 years old, the doctor told him, you know, it's not good for you to fast. You need to be drinking liquids all the time and things like that. Then those, they don't have to make to make siyam, and they don't have to even make it up. But what they can do is they can feed some poor people, you know. Pregnant and breastfeeding mothers, also they don't have to fast, but also and it's optional for the ones who has who are pregnant. Some pregnant women, they fast, but it is not recommended for them. It's not recommended. Yeah, it's not
Bad for
recommended.
the baby. Why? I mean, you got to feed the baby. Why?
Well, that's a
Inside.
personal preference, but also it's good to go to a doctor and ask.
Okay.
Yeah, and also breastfeeding, and they can make it up later. Okay, so there are some things that nullify the fasting. Before I talk about that, now if I want to make it up but I cannot make it up, so what should I do? In this case, you have to be feeding a poor person every day. So let's say that let's say a meal is like $10. So you pay $10, or you get a real meal and you go and knock on the door on some poor person and you give him that meal. So every day you don't fast, you have to feed a meal for that person.
Okay, so not two people, just one.
Yes.
So how long do you feed that person?
Until you make up all the days.
Okay.
So for each day is one person.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying, like that. So things that will nullify the fasting is eating and drinking, of course, and sexual intercourse. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, by the one in whose hand myself is, the smell of the breath of a man fasting is better with Allah than the scent of the musk, as I said. He leaves his desires and his food and drink for my sake. Fasting is for me and I reward it. Every good action is rewarded by 10 times. So every time you do one good thing, you get 10 rewards for it. It's kind. Up to 100 times, except fasting, which is for me, and I reward it with no limitation. So everything that you do, you get 10 rewards, sometimes 70 rewards, or 700 times rewards. But when it comes to fasting, there is no limitation for that reward. So the fasting of the apostates or non-Muslims, that nullify also the fasting. So if someone is not Muslim and they want to fast, that's good. They would fast, but they don't get a reward for it. They it's just like a diet for them, basically. Okay. And also throwing up intentionally. So if someone is fasting and they actually put their finger in their throat so they can throw up, so this is actually going to nullify the fasting. But if they throw up unintentionally because they're sick, so that does not actually break their fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Things that will nullify the fasting intentionally, of course. And there are difference with the scholars. And I put also the scholars who actually say it actually nullify, and there are, and those are the scholars. Of course, there are differences about that. Things are not edible. So if you take, let's say, plastic or something,
just chewing on something.
Yeah, that will some people, they say it nullify the fasting, and some people they don't. And most of them, they say it actually nullify. Eardrops, you know, three of school of thoughts, they say it nullify the fasting. The kuhl, when you put eyeliner on your hand, on your eyes, it says two of them it says it nullifies, two of them it doesn't.
Even if it's waterproof?
Yes, but the most important thing is does not reach the throat.
Right.
You know, there are some pencils that you go and put it in here, you know, and sometimes you actually taste it because it goes in the throat. So be careful not to actually put anything that goes in the throat.
But ear drops, like if you if you have like ear infection and you
Right.
put it in there.
As I
mean,
said-
technically you're sick,
As I
so
said,
you
there
shouldn't
are
be fasting
there
anyway,
are
right?
different of opinions.
Okay.
The enema, yeah. So 3 of them they say it nullify the fast. Drops of urethra, brain or abdomen surgery.
Okay.
3 of them they say that it actually does nullify, and 1 of them it doesn't. So any surgery that actually takes you into a coma, it actually breaks your fast.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really understand this because those people shouldn't or wouldn't be fasting anyway because aren't they considered sick if they're having surgery?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So you're right. Kissing that leads to orgasm,
Right.
that's actually breaks the fast. All of them they
kiss?
But
say.
On the
listen,
lip?
but listen.
That
No, no.
leads to orgasm. Kissing that leads to normal erection and mild water. Now, 2 of them they say it does actually, and 2 of them they say it doesn't. Masturbating, all the scholars they say that it actually breaks your fast. Lusting, Maliki and Hanbali say that it breaks your fast. Shafi'i and Hanafi they say it doesn't. Hijama, which is the cupping, 1 of them Hanbali say that it does break your fast, and the other 3 says it doesn't.
Oh, I guess because it brings blood out.
Blood
right?
out, yes, that's why. So things that will nullify the fasting intentionally, difference with scholars, again, swallowing remaining food. So let's say that it is time for Fajr time and you heard the adhan while you're eating. So what do? Do you swallow the food or do you spit it out once you hear the adhan? So Maliki, Shafi'i and Hanbali, they say you spit it out. And Hanafi, they say, no, you don't have to spit it, just swallow it. Swallow the last bite that you had and that's it. Don't eat anymore.
I would spit it
Okay?
out.
Yes. Chewing gum, of course.
yeah.
You know, Shafi'i and Hanbali and Hanafi, they all say that it actually breaks your fast. But Maliki, they say it doesn't, as long that it does not reach the throat and it does not have any taste.
You should have no gum in your mouth anyway.
Yeah,
you
it's
shouldn't.
too
Period.
risky.
Yes,
Some things.
Yes, it's
The
risky.
juice from the gum, juicy fruit, come on now.
Yeah.
It's going to swallow that.
Yeah.
Right,
Hey.
yeah. Passing out, coma, of course, Maliki, Shafi'i and Hanbali, it says that you have to make it up. That means it breaks your fast. But Hanafi, it says it doesn't. Oral nutrition, you're not supposed to have any kind of
What
oral...
would that be?
Like pills.
Oh, like vitamins?
Vitamins
You
or
can't
things
take
like
your
that.
medication. About what if you have
No.
You can't
pills,
before,
Medicaid pills?
No,
before.
if you want to, you take it before.
Like for suhoor?
Before, at
Like
suhoor.
early in the morning, like
Yes.
when it's time to eat a little
Yes.
something.
Before
take your medicine.
Fajr, yeah.
That's
I
what
do that. I do my...
Take my blood pressure pill.
Yeah, me too. So glucose nutrition injections. The injection is actually nourishes the body, so you shouldn't actually do it at the time of Ramadan.
Right.
Unless if you're sick, then that breaks your fast. Drugs by injections that may lead to passing out. So that's also you're not supposed to.